No.
Oh my gosh.
I didn't mean to
really
do that.
wasn't. I mean,
Mordecai?
Regular Show has 242 episodes, and finding 20 of those that I genuinely hate was honestly a pretty hard thing to do, which speaks volumes to how good the show actually is. But these 20 episodes that I have for you here, upon my rewatching the show over and over and over again, these 20 episodes I hate more than the rest. Whether that's because of their comedy, their placement in the series, the decisions that the characters make in the episodes, whatever it might be, these episodes just stand among the rest as being some of Regular Show's worst. And starting off this list, the episode that I really don't think is that bad, but I gotta put 20 on here, and it's going to be Meet the Seer. Now, I am in the minority of people who genuinely hate this episode, but that's just, my opinion. I just don't like that one of our last episodes of the series was spent just to make some good old-fashioned meta jokes, because that's what we get for 5 minutes in this episode, and I don't like that. I like some of the stuff in this episode. I like that Pops had to go to this planet in order to get it healed by this ancient microwave man, and the microwave man sacrifices himself for the chosen one, for the resistance.
Always follow proper heating instructions. For the formats!
I like that streaming comes as a villain. I like that we get to see the Dismasters again. There is some good stuff about this episode. But then when we get to the actual Seer, who is supposed to be all-knowing and all-powerful, she just says exactly what you already know at this point in the series. Pops, oh Pops, you must fight anti-Pops, oh Lord. And then she sees Muscle Man and is like, I know your name. You know who else? My mom.
You don't know me.
Oh, Muscle Man. Always so brash. You know who else is always so brash?
Who?
Come on, you know.
I don't know what you're talking about, lady.
My mom.
Yeah, and just makes my mom joke. Wow, it's so meta. She knows about the show. Oh my god. The Seer is talking about Mordecai and Margaret's relationship and how it affected the show and was a nosedive, and then it got better when he got with CJ. Wow, so crazy. I'm so happy we got such amazing meta jokes. Yay. She even talks to Eileen and is all like, I wish you were featured more. And honestly, upon the first time watching it, it's fine. It's enjoyable to hear those things. But I think this episode is by far one of the worst episodes on rewatch because I genuinely don't care after that. I do not need to see this episode because it's not shocking to hear the Seer say these things ever again, and everything else that happened in the episode is honestly just really boring. There's just nothing really that's that enjoyable about it. Some good stuff with streaming as a villain, some good stuff with them running away, the microwave sacrificing himself is good, but I hate everything with the Seer because it just honestly feels so pointless, and this episode feels like one of the biggest wastes of one of our final episodes of Regular Show, because in season 8 I'm looking for peak stuff that progresses the plot, gives us new information. This episode genuinely just didn't give me any new information and was just like, oh, let's be meta for a little bit. And coming in at 19 is the episode Quips, and if you asked me to make this video a few months ago, I would have ranked this episode way higher because I genuinely despise this episode. But because Quips has grown on me a little bit, zingo!
Oh, well, an ocean is a body of water, and a sea is also...
I don't care.
A little more care would give you a little more hair. Zingo!
I actually enjoy this episode a little bit more. I think there's a lot to like about it, except for maybe the ending. It just feels so out of place in Regular Show that I just don't like it. It's just so anticlimactic, and it just meant absolutely nothing, it felt like. All the episode is building up to Skips having to tell Quips that he's not funny, with Quips just constantly, every other sentence, telling a really horrible joke, and if you find those jokes funny, then maybe you really, really love this episode. But I personally, I don't really laugh at any of his jokes, especially on rewatch, and the first time I watched it, I didn't even really laugh very much, even when I was a small little child listening to his just, why did the lamb call the police? they arrested him at the Baba shop. That wasn't even the right joke. I don't even care because none of his jokes are very memorable except him going Zingo. I enjoy that, but Quips is just a very weird, average character who is just supposed to make fun of people who only tell jokes, and that's his personality. So everything is building up to Skips eventually having to tell them this, and eventually they're playing Pictionary, and they're just trying to have a good time, and Quips is just absolutely roasting Reggie for being a horrible artist.
Bacon?
Bacon.
Oh, he just said that.
Bacon!
It isn't bacon.
Come on. Are you sure it's not bacon? Zingo!
Time. Fire engine.
And I actually kind of like this part a little bit where he's just trying to draw a fire engine and he just keeps making fun of him. I enjoyed that a little bit, and then Reggie puts him and Skips into a box. Yeah, that's the big climax for a regular show episode. That's supposed to be the crazy moment where they're just in a box talking, and then Skips has to break out of the box after saying, "Quips, you're not funny."
All you do is tell bad jokes.
What? People love those jokes.
No, they don't. Quips, you're not funny.
And then I guess it's a happy ending with Quips being all like, "Oh, I'm a clown now. I found people who could find me funny." Yeah, it's just a very, very average episode. Nothing crazy happens in it. The entire plot is just building to this one sentence, this one reveal of Skips just being like, "You're not funny." And it doesn't even feel like it's emotional impact because everybody else already knows that he's not funny. It's not like a crazy thing to tell this guy this. And then it just works out perfectly fine in the end. It's not even like he had to change who he is. So it's just kind of whatever. It's just a very, very, very boring episode to me. At 18 is the episode replaced, and this episode is also honestly just very boring. I mean, I guess I like the idea of it with Mordecai and Rigby being so bad at their jobs that Benson hires 2 new hires to take over their jobs, and they just start doing it, so Mordecai and Rigby have to try to sabotage them all day by making the dock continuously dirty so that they can never clean the dock. And yeah, I mean, it's okay. I think if the 2 dudes that he hired weren't just like the most average normal people ever who were just trying to actually do their jobs, then it would have been maybe a little bit more interesting. It's literally like Mordecai and Rigby are just the villains of this episode, well, along with Benson. I don't know, it's just not very enjoyable to me. The first 8 minutes are just them trying to sabotage them just nonstop in not very funny ways, and the reactions aren't even that good. It's literally just like, "Oh, there's a bunch of crow's feet. Oh, this sucks. We gotta clean it again." And then they just start cleaning it again. It never really feels like anything is going anywhere until Mordecai and Rigby decide that they're going to have a pizza party to make sure that it stays dirty, and they call a bunch of people, and then a bunch of random sea monsters come out of the depths and just start sitting on the boats and stuff. I guess that was cool. I don't know. This is one of the most grounded regular show episodes ever, other than the sea monsters coming. And even when the sea monsters are there, they don't really do anything except just chill at the party. It just feels so like nothing. It doesn't even feel like a regular show episode because it's just so boring the entire time. The big climax is literally just a pizza party, and it feels like the sea monsters are added just to make it feel like regular show, but it still doesn't feel like regular show. It just feels so boring. The only part of the episode that I truly like is at the end when Benson comes and just is like, "No more pizza party," and just starts flashing the camera at Mordecai and Rigby nonstop saying that they're fired.
You're fired, remember?
But Benson!
Leave now!
But
Now! Leave now!
I thought that was hilarious. Everything else, really boring. The 2 dudes end up quitting at the end of the episode because they're so sick of all this nonsense, and then Mordecai and Rigby get to keep their jobs anyway. So yeah, we got 2 new boring characters introduced for the episode that did absolutely nothing. Mordecai and Rigby just sabotaged them all day, threw a pizza party, and then still kept their jobs in the end. It's just a very boring episode, and I think J.G. Quintel has said himself that this is one of his least favorite episodes that they created because it just doesn't feel like regular show. I think I remember him saying that in an interview somewhere because it's just a out of place episode. And then coming up next, we have the episode Do Me a Solid. And I love the beginning of this episode. I truly do. I think it's fantastic. Just them doing solids for each other. Fold these socks. Cheese these nachos.
Cheese these nachos.
I enjoy that. I think it's great. Rigby just grabbing the nachos that are now just full of cheese and hucking it at the tree.
You think you want some chips with that cheese?
Oh, yeah, I guess we overdid it with the cheese, huh?
One of the greatest moments in regular show. I think it's hilarious. But then the rest of the episode is just a major nosedive for me, because it's only really funny if you like the characters being dicks to each other, and sometimes I do. Sometimes I think it's great in episodes when they're just being horrible to each other, but in this case, none of it was really that funny, none of it was really that enjoyable, and it's just Mordecai suffering just because he wants to go out on a date, and Rigby just being horrible to every single character in the show, with him going on a date with Eileen, not really saying anything to Eileen when Eileen is being the nicest person ever possible. You don't even have to, like, say, like, you want to date her, dude. Just say hello. Eileen's just trying her best. I mean, the thing with the whole, like, pretending to be a turtle thing, that was really weird. Like, really, really weird. But I digress.
Rigby, look at me. I just laid sea turtle eggs, and now I'm gonna swim out to sea. Although many of my hatchlings won't live to adulthood.
It's just like, you could actually try to be present in the moment, bro. But no, Rigby's just insufferable the entire episode. He makes Mordecai have to try this taco that he put a bunch of spice in so that he would spit all over Margaret.
It's fishy.
He has to pretend to fart in the movie theater so that everybody will hate him. And eventually, at the end of the episode, he has to take a literal shit on the floor.
No, bro.
Yes, that is Rigby's final solid that he makes Mordecai do, because, yeah, that's a normal thing that you make your friends do. Because you have to go out on a double date for literally 3 hours of your life. You're like, how can I get back at this guy for making me do something with my life? Oh gosh, Mordecai. And then Mordecai does it, and then Rigby records it, and then shows everybody it again, over and over again, until eventually the episode ends with him being all like, hey, Mordecai, and breaks the tape, and then they're just best friends again for some reason, which was always so stupid to me. I really was hoping that Mordecai would just punch him in the face at the end of the episode, like, as hard as he could, because this is one of the episodes where I thought Rigby truly, truly deserved it, because he was just being such a little shit stain for the entire episode. And then up next, we have the episode Dodge This. And I have so much hatred for this episode for one main big reason. This episode took away my sweet, succulent episode that was all going to be focusing on dodgeball, ultimate dodgeball matches, because the beginning, like, first 5 minutes of this episode are honestly perfect, with everybody just playing dodgeball, the dodgeball match against the magical elements.
No!
Well, let's get this over with.
It's all so hype. It's all so good. They could have just made a dodgeball episode, and it could have gone down as one of the best episodes in the entire show. And not to mention that it was in season 5 that this episode aired, and that was during regular show's little dry spell. They were just cranking that shaft, and the spout was just going, pfft. Just nothing coming out. There were no good episodes really coming out around that time except for a couple bangers, and we could have had one for the ages, an all-timer classic about them just grinding to win this dodgeball tournament to cement Benson as the ultimate dodgeball coach or something. I don't know, dodge, duck, dip, dive, dodge. It could have been really good. I would have loved it, but no. After 5 minutes, they decide,
this beautiful dodgeball episode needs to be all about Mordecai and CJ. Even though we're going to spend 20 episodes of the season developing this relationship, we can't let this one episode just be about dodgeball.
yeah. They make it all about Mordecai and CJ's, like, awkward friendship, awkward relationship because they kissed at the New Year's party. Big whoop, dude. Make it in a different episode. You're acting like you didn't spend half of the season developing this relationship. You could have totally put this entire plot line in, like, 2 minutes in the episode Portable Toilet or something, where they're just walking, they see each other, and all of a sudden, I don't know, the walking goddess of love is all like, why are you guys being so awkward? You could have done it in any other episode, but no, you ruined my dodgeball episode, and it makes me so salty to this day, because it's literally just 5 minutes of history. me and CJ don't even have a history. Yeah, me and Mordecai don't have a history. We don't even like what's a history? Like, I don't even know what that is. And then like they just show that they kissed twice, and then they're like, I guess we have a history. I guess we do. Wow. I never saw that coming. Maybe we need to drop all of this and like hang out as friends. And then like the ending is just CJ throwing the ball at Mordecai because they're friends and they're okay with each other now, and that's just so boring. So boring. Could have been such a good episode, but they took it away from me just to develop this relationship that would just end in suffering and cheating and Mordecai being a scoundrel. What was it all for? I lost my dodgeball episode. At 15 is the episode Free Cake, and honestly, this one is just bad for Rigby being really annoying the entire time. Every time I rewatch this episode, I just hate him so much, and it just holds this episode back from being actually good. I do think there's a couple of positive things about this episode, like we get the first like introduction to Skips' lore, the fact that he's immortal, we get to see the babies, which is good stuff, I suppose, and we also get Skips is gonna be totally surprised when he walks in and sees us totally naked.
Almost 8 p.m. Whoa! Skips is gonna be so surprised when he comes in and sees us totally naked. It's not that kind of party, muscle man. Oh. Don't turn on the lights.
Yeah, that's a really funny moment, but everything else is just honestly not that great. It's all about Mordecai and Rigby wanting some free cake, and they're just going around trying to get it, doing everything they possibly can, and eventually they get a cake from the snack bar, and then just for 2 minutes I have to watch Rigby just be insufferable fighting Mordecai over the cake.
Rigby! Get off! Dude, quit it!
And then what I really don't like is him interrupting Skips, and literally Skips starts dying because they go up to the babies and Skips failed his immortal, like, whatever dance, so they start killing him. And then Rigby still doesn't want to give him the cake back because he sees Skips' dying, decaying corpse, his nipples literally falling off the bone, and he's like, but Mordecai, the cake!
So you're telling me you like cake?
The blue one has cake. Cake. Give us the cake.
The cake for Skips.
Mordecai, what are you doing?
Dude, do you want Skips to die on his birthday?
All right.
Yeah. I don't know. I just think Rigby is really insufferable in this episode, and it just makes it so unenjoyable throughout the entire time. Yeah, a couple good things. Skips lore, Muscle Man joke. Everything else is just fine. I also like the free cake chant. But everything else is just honestly horrible, and it's all because of Rigby. Definitely one of Rigby's worst episodes. And then at 14 is the episode Gut Model, and this is one of those episodes that relies on the fact that Muscle Man is going to freak out to be the main catalyst for it being a good episode, but it just never really hits for me that much. The episode's all about how Muscle Man is just so sad and angry because nobody wants to go to his 5th-year park anniversary, but it's not like it's without reason. Every single character that he asks has a genuine reason for why they can't go. Even High Five Ghost has his brother graduating from the academy. He has to go to that.
What?
Low 5 is graduating from the police academy tonight. He's my brother. I have to go.
Fine! You're all uninvited!
Dude, don't be like that.
No, it's cool. It's not like it's my 5th anniversary or anything. This bird is flying solo tonight, babies!
So Muscle Man could do the reasonable thing and be like, oh, well, I have almost every single night off from work. We could just reschedule in 2 days. No, he freaks out, doesn't like anybody, and just is mad the entire episode. Which leads to 2 guys approaching him when he goes to the restaurant and orders food for basically 7 people, and they just look at him and go, you got the perfect body to pose as a pregnant woman.
Tell me, kid, have you ever thought of becoming a model?
No.
Because you, sir, have the perfect body to pose as a pregnant woman.
Which leads to Muscle Man becoming a pregnant gut model, and all of his friends are just so happy for him. They're so happy that he's going to be famous, he's going to be rich, it's going to be a good life for Muscle Man. But Muscle Man can't understand the fact that everybody is just happy for him, and so he, at this big celebration for him, he freaks out, starts frying up everything, creates a giant grease monster, has a talk with High Five Ghost where he understands the importance of his relationship to High Five Ghost, and that everybody actually needs him, and they were just happy for him. So he runs and jumps into the grease monster. And that's pretty much the episode. I don't know. This episode always just feels like so lackluster to me. Muscle Man is at his absolute worst. I think this episode is important for his arc of becoming a better person, but when you're looking at it just episodic, it's just honestly so awful to just watch Muscle Man be honestly so horrible throughout the entire episode, and then the big climax with the grease monster isn't even that interesting. It's honestly just pretty boring. Muscle Man even running and jumping into him and getting fried is a little bit funny, I guess, but still not very entertaining. It just makes for a pretty bad episode, at least to me. At 13 is the episode Local News Legend, and this episode has one major big problem for me. It's trying to give an entire episode to a character that has had no developments for the past 6 seasons. Like, genuinely, everything that Margaret has done for 6 seasons before she gets this episode is just react to what other people are interested in, which doesn't make her a good character. Oh, wow, she likes music? I'm so glad she likes music because the other characters were talking about how they were going to a concert. Oh, wow, she likes, yeah, I don't know. I can't think of anything. Yeah. So, they're trying to give this character a whole episode, and in the past season that she debuted, re-entered the show, she was cheating with Mordecai, all of that great stuff, lying about having a boyfriend, and then they just give her a whole episode where she's the star, where she's supposed to shine, and it's just so boring, too. It's not even that good. I don't care if Margaret gets to be a newscaster, because she is one of the characters that I genuinely care about the least. You can't just make an entire episode about this character when the majority of the audience do not care even remotely about her. That is literally like giving an episode to the Karen lady from the Take the Cake episode. I cut line cutters. Why would you care about that episode? I mean, actually, that'd be a pretty interesting concept. I'd actually like to see that. Okay, but that's besides the point. Why would you give a character who has done nothing but just be horrible pretty much the entire show, an entire episode? She's just going around like, Margaret always Marget's the bad guy, and just going to a bunch of different places, trying to bust a bunch of different people, and eventually the big finale is her fighting against Jackie Carmichael, who's apparently a robot from the future who wants to stop all news, and yeah, she just ends up driving the car into this blockade, and then she blows up, and Margaret's like, Margaret always Margaret's the bad guy, and gets away, and I guess she gets her own news segment.
Margaret? You know, Jackie, Margaret always Marget's the bad guy. I'm still not loving that name, huh?
Yay, Margaret. So happy for Margaret. Yay. It's just a very boring episode with a very boring lead character that I do not care about, and that's what holds the episode back from being good. If you made this episode about, I don't know, Eileen trying to do something cool, probably would have liked the episode a lot more, not gonna lie. And coming up next is the episode The Longest Weekend, and this episode is also just so insanely boring. The episode's all about Starla being all like,
Oh, Mitch. Oh, we need to stay a weekend apart because I saw this movie one time. Oh, Mitch, let's spend a weekend alone.
And then they spend the weekend alone, and it's just suffering the entire time. The one scene that I actually like in this episode is Muscle Man literally, like, I don't know, an hour after being told that he can't see Starla, he starts hallucinating her around the house. I thought that was pretty good.
I miss you, Mitch.
That was entertaining. That was funny. But everything else just sucks. It's just everybody being like, oh, you can't go see Starla. And then Starla being all like, why hasn't he called me yet? And then being like, Starla, you said you'd break up with him. And she's like, well, he should know the difference between me meaning things and me not meaning things. It's just stupid. I hate it. I don't even think this episode should have been a concept because it's honestly just boring, and both of the main characters are just at their worst in this episode, so I can't really enjoy it. In the big climax at the end, the thing that's supposed to make you go, wow, it was all worth it, is literally Muscle Man just running outside, everybody holding him down, and him going, Starla! Starla! And he just starts howling, and then Starla runs outside, and she's like, Mitch! And then they just fly to each other at the speed of light, and that's the end of the episode. They were able to spend one weekend apart. Yay! Yay! Fantastic, amazing. Not really. Very boring episode. At number 11 is The Brain of Evil, and I genuinely think this is by far the worst episode of regular show season 8 for so many different reasons, but one of the main one is the main villain that you have is the Brain, and you even got Wallace Shawn to voice the Brain, and I love Wallace Shawn in like animated cartoon villain roles because he could be so entertaining in that role. He could be so hilarious, but what they chose to do with him was basically worthless, and I didn't enjoy it at all. It's just Mordecai and Rigby going to this pawn shop, finding the Brain. The Brain is all like, oh, I don't like being in here. Oh, my wife and children.
I just want to see my wife and kids again. Is that so wrong?
No, it isn't.
Well, tell you what. There's a key on that wall. You could unlock this soul-sucking enclosure, and I could be free to travel as I please.
Oh, so Rigby releases him, and then they're like, oh no, you shouldn't have done that. He's evil. And then they chase him for like 5 minutes in a not so interesting chase scene while the Brain is just constantly making brain puns. Yeah. That's great stuff. And then Mordecai's all like, I need a salad. And then he goes and they challenge him to a chess match. And then they're just playing chess. Yep. They just play chess. And I love chess. Don't get me wrong. I think chess can be one of the most entertaining games ever. But they made it somehow not very entertaining. And then they just plop him in the salad bowl after they lose in chess. And then throw him into space.
The oldest trick in the book. Huh? Hey,
got him!
What?
Rawls, we got him!
That's it. That's all they chose to do. And it's very, very, very boring. The plot is just honestly, like, not really going anywhere the entire time. It just feels like they kept adding things to make it seem more interesting, like with the missiles coming to destroy the park after the Brain is on it and they're playing chess, so it's supposed to be tense. But it feels like without that, nothing would really change because none of it really even felt tense in the first place. Even with the missiles, that just let me know for a fact that I know that they're going to defeat the Brain. So what was I supposed to enjoy about this episode? It was a waste of Wallace Shawn, so it had a bad villain and a bad concept, and it's the worst of season 8, 100%. At 10 is the episode Lame Lockdown, and just genuinely, no matter what I do, no matter how many times I watch this episode, I can't remember it. It's one of the hardest episodes for me to remember, and that's only because of one thing. It's just boring. The episode's plot is just honestly horrible. It's just supposed to give you a couple of little good things sprinkled here and there that are supposed to make the episode better, but it really doesn't. The episode's all about how Mordecai and Rigby sneak out to go and see this band, and they end up interviewing the band and having a great time and spending time with them because the band is like, whoa, nobody's asked us questions like that, dude. Finally, some real fans. And Benson is also supposed to make sure that they're on lockdown, so he's just getting really angry when he eventually finds out that they've left.
Oh dear.
So Mordecai and Rigby have to try to sneak back in by like skydiving through the dome, and that's the big climax for the episode. That's supposed to be the moment that makes you go, yeah, that was great. And then Benson has to encounter Dr. Langer, who is like the villain at the time in the show, and is all like, Benson, you can't even watch your park. And then Benson just stands up to him for the very first time, and then Dr. Langer runs away and says, they're ready. It's just supposed to advance the plot, I guess, and get you like wondering what's going to happen with the story, but it's not very interesting. Nothing about it is that good. The entire plot that isn't about Dr. Langer and Benson is also really boring. Everything that Mordecai and Rigby do with the band is just supposed to be seeming really cool, but in reality, it's just flat out boring. This episode is unwatchable, and I can never remember it. I always have to skim through everything, and for the majority of the episodes that I talk about, I don't need to look at what they were about. I don't need to rewatch them because I just have it up here. No matter how many times I rewatch this episode, I cannot remember it. I always have to go back to it, and that is just a testament to how boring this episode is. And number 9 is the episode Cat Videos, and this is by far one of the weirdest episodes in the series, and not in a good way. Everything about it just, I don't know, screams like fetish to me or something. I don't know. It genuinely rubs me the wrong way. The episode is all about how Benson gets addicted to cat videos, so much so that he just becomes a deranged man. He doesn't go to work. He just sits all day. He ignores his real-life cat because he's just so invested in Curmudgeon Cat and Pudgy Cat and all these cats that are just so cute.
McFluffin, I'm trying to watch a video about cats. Hey, I wasn't done with that.
So much so that he eventually goes to Masterson's studio, a place where you can meet Curmudgeon Cat, and they kidnap him and force him to be a cat. Yeah, it's very weird. I don't like it.
Do we have a diva on our hands here?
I think we have a diva.
Bat the mouse! Bat the mouse!
And eventually Benson, his mind is just so messed up that he genuinely thinks he's a cat, and Mordecai and Rigby have to go and save him. And the only part of the episode that I even remotely, gave a little giggle to was at the end when they finally get Benson to help them, and they're trying to get to Masterson to confront him, and he's just saying a bunch of director names, saying, "I'm Kitty Tarantino, baby."
I'm the Tabby Tarantino!
Come on! On the count of 3. 1.
I am, 2.
See him?
Not now! I'm the, 3! I am the Kitty Cubeless!
Yeah, that was okay. And then the big reveal at the end, there's the joke is that the twist came out of nowhere, which it genuinely did, but it just makes the episode worse when you take into consideration that Masterson, who was a human, turns into his new form, which is a cat, and when he is a cat, I don't know, it just makes everything feel fetishy to me. Like, he was making them all be humans but turn into cats so that he could watch them and make videos about it. I don't know, something about it rubs me the wrong way and I don't like it, and I guarantee you a lot of people also feel this way about cat videos and feel like that is just something is so off about it, and it makes me not like it, and that's why I'm ranking it this high. At number 8 is the episode The Unicorns Have Got to Go, and I've always said if you love douchebag humor, this one's for you, but it's not for me because I don't find this episode funny at all. In this episode, Mordecai sprays some cologne which summons the unicorns, and the unicorns work really well if you're supposed to hate them, and I believe that you are, because they're so horrible that they make this episode suck. Genuinely. The unicorns are just being horrible to Mordecai. The first thing they make him do is make him drink unicorn cum, which is just unicorn slump.
Oh, sick! What was that?
It's definitely not unicorn slump.
Yeah, and a lot of people always ask, is that what that actually is? Yeah, it is. That's exactly what it is. Good stuff. Tasty. Yum, yum. And sorry. And then, they make him go to Margaret and try to lay it down with her.
Oh, hey, what's up?
I'm here to lay it down.
What?
Lay it down?
Sure. Are you feeling okay?
Yeah, and a very weird scene, and then they're just being horrible to him for the rest of the episode, and Rigby starts being horrible to Mordecai as well because he just loves the unicorns, and then Mordecai's outside, he gets attacked by them, and then Rigby just starts hanging out with them because they're cool, and then they start treating Rigby like horrible. They eat Benson's gumballs.
What's the matter, Rigbone? You like that nerd or something?
They're just genuinely being some horrible little unicorns, so everybody comes to their senses and is like, we gotta get rid of these guys, so they blow them up at the end. And the only part of the episode that I truly enjoyed was the end where Benson is just roasting them for being so stupid and spraying the hose at them.
The unicorn one?
Thought that was great. Everything else was horrible. The unicorns, even if you're supposed to hate them, it doesn't mean that they make the episode better. They make it so much worse and just downright unwatchable. At number 7 is the episode The Return of Party Horse, and genuinely, what do you even want me to say about this episode? It's an episode that feels like it has so much potential to be doing stuff, but instead of actually doing anything, it's just talking for 11 minutes with nothing meaning anything. Party Horse comes back to the planet because he needs help with his relationship, asks for help from Mordecai and Rigby. They proceed to do nothing for so long. They even go to Party Horse Planet, and instead of showing how crazy this planet is with all the parties, they just say they're going to a bunch of parties. They knock on people's doors, and they're all like, yo, that's where the party's at, and then they go and party with them, but we don't get to see any of that. They repeat this process 3 times to try to get Party Horse's party out, and yeah, we don't get to see anything that's happening, and then you just top it all off with that ending where it's just, okay, I'm gonna take it down a notch by getting in this machine that'll remove my party, and then his girlfriend's all like, no, I just wanted you to not be partying as much, and then he takes it down a notch, and that's supposed to be the big happy ending. No, This episode sucked. It's one of the most boring episodes in the entire series. It just keeps telling you things are happening without showing you anything, and it sucks. The return of Party Horse was one of the worst returns in the entire series, and I understand that Party Horse is literally the most well-written character in the entire show. He has the greatest arc in the show. He is genuinely the best peak character in honestly all fiction. Party Horse is everything I could ever need. It should have been Mordecai and Party Horse. Airplanes in the night sky are like shooting stars. Yeah, because Party Horse was just that good of a character, but yeah, this episode is horrible. And number 6 is the episode Wall Buddy, and we're getting to the episodes that I just genuinely don't even want to talk about, man. But Wall Buddy, I really like the beginning of it where they're going to get chimichangas. Chimichanga.
Some people play the bass.
And some people play the conga.
But I'm about to play
this chimichanga.
Turn up the treble.
Turn up the bass.
Cause I'm shoving guacamole
all up into my face.
Chimichanga.
And then after that, it just takes such a horrible nosedive with Rigby's character. Because it's in season 5, it's supposed to be when he's slowly, progressively getting better, but this is just the worst showcase of Rigby ever. Because in this episode, okay, Mordecai's room, spick and span, spotless, his entire area, clean.
Mordecai's even worse. Look at all his junk in the corner.
Dude, that's my bed.
I don't care who's responsible, but you're gonna have to clean this room if you want to keep living here for free!
Rigby, it looks like he's been diving through the dumpster every single day, just filling his pockets with just mush and garbage, used condoms, everything like that. That is just spread all across his room. His side of the room. It's clearly his mess. And so, when Benson says, you need to clean this up or you guys are going to be fired, Mordecai is all like, well, it's Rigby's mess, and Rigby, feeling like betrayed because they're supposed to do things together, just hates him for the rest of the episode. He's just like, why would you throw me under the bus? Why would you do that? And then he tries to do everything he possibly can to avoid actually cleaning his mess, so much so that he gets Wall Buddy to separate the rooms and put all the garbage over onto Mordecai's side.
You'll need to clean up your mess, though.
My room is spotless, Mordecai. You might want to get started on the huge mess in your room, though.
Don't like that. And then they start fighting and telling Wall Buddy to do things, and then Wall Buddy freaks out and starts spazzing all over the park, and they have to stop it by pressing a button. And then at the end of the episode, the thing that makes it so much worse, instead of Rigby owning up to his mistakes, he decides that he's going to just stick by his guns, and Mordecai is going to be the one who changes and saying, yeah, we'll clean up our mess, pal. Let's clean up our mess together. All of this garbage, it's ours.
Well, yeah, but... Mordecai and Rigby! Now, before you say anything, we did do what you said.
Yeah, we cleaned up Rigby's, our mess.
No. This episode would have been so much better if the ending had Rigby manning up, taking a deep breath, and cleaning all of his mess on his own while Mordecai goes and plays video games or something. Because genuinely, this is literally just saying, oh, this guy has so many faults and is being a horrible, horrible person. Let me just go down to his level so that he feels better about himself. Yeah, I hate it. The message of this episode sucks. Rigby sucks. And Mordecai's switch up at the end also is horrible and makes it one of the worst episodes in regular show. And number 5 is 1000 Chopper Flight Party, and I've already talked about this episode in detail so many different times, but genuinely I'm not even going to go into the plot. It's just Mordecai going up into a helicopter with Margaret right after he just cheated on CJ and finally got back together with her, and he is on very thin ice, and he decides that he's going to go to this party. He's not be able to be a man. He's just going to be like, oh, I guess I'll go up there with all this peer pressure even though I know exactly how it's going to make my girlfriend feel. And CJ comes, sees this, gets very angry, almost kills a bunch of people, and that's the episode. Great stuff. I don't like this episode for the reason of it just makes the plot so much horrible. It makes the story so much horrible. And it just makes CJ portrayed as a villain and puts her on the same level as Mordecai and Margaret with all the cheating, all the scummy things that they're doing, and just doesn't help anybody, really. It makes Mordecai look bad because he knows how CJ would feel. He reacts so harshly the second he sees CJ, so he knows exactly how CJ should feel. And, of course, Mordecai shouldn't be tethered to the fact that he's going to constantly be worrying about anything he should do with his girlfriend's reaction, but still, you know how it's going to make her feel. You just cheated on her. And then CJ having to puff up as a cloud, getting angry, just makes her seem like the villain of the episode, and that just sucks for her character and makes her character so much worse and genuinely makes a lot of people hate her character. This episode's sole purpose of existing was to make CJ a villain in this whole love triangle, and I hate that, and that's why I hate this episode. At number 4 is the episode Not a Great Double Date, and don't get me wrong, if I take away my biased hatred for Margaret, this episode still sucks. If I'm just looking at it from a standpoint of, okay, let's just look at it episodic, let's pretend that Mordecai didn't just cheat on CJ, let's pretend all this stuff isn't happening. Is this episode entertaining on its own? No, it's not. It follows Margaret for the first 4 minutes being like, oh, I need a boyfriend. Okay, I have a boyfriend. Okay, how do I lie to Mordecai and CJ about having a boyfriend? Oh, Rigby's here? Oh, he knows exactly how we should lie to each other. Oh, let's make up this fake lie. And then they go to the double date, and it's still just so boring. It's them talking for the last 6 minutes of the episode, and then the big climax, the big finale of a regular show episode is supposed to be the kiss cam, and Margaret doesn't want to kiss Dale Hanlon.
What?
Change the slide, Marcus!
And then CJ's all like, why did you lie about it? There's only one reason you would lie about something like that. Do you still have feelings for Mordecai? And Margaret's all like, yes, I do. And yeah, that's the entire episode. It's just supposed to add suspense and add drama to the already drama-filled love triangle. And they honestly could have done this same exact thing in another more interesting episode with a maybe 2-minute conversation instead of giving it an entire episode with all of this build up to one moment that doesn't even hit that hard because it's obvious that Margaret still likes Mordecai. Who cares? And you made it such a boring episode too. Nothing even happens. This is anything but non-regular. It's very regular. It's one of the most regular episodes in the series, man. Number 3 is the episode Sad Sacks, and I hate this episode for its placement in the series. I just can't stand that this episode even exists, because what was the point? Obviously, we needed a follow-up episode to the fact that Mordecai just cheated on CJ, but for what we got, it's just horrendous. It's horrible. I hate it. It's just 11 minutes of Mordecai trying to get back with CJ, trying to prove how much he loves her, and eventually he does get back with her after doing this beautiful light show. They're back together, happy ending, they kiss at the end, and then it's literally all just stomped upon, literally like 5 episodes later. So what was even the point of it all? What was the point of making this episode? Why not just let CJ go? Why add more drama to this relationship? I never understood it, and I will never understand this episode existing, because genuinely, what was the point of making this entire episode? Just add more flavor, just add more drama, just to make it more realistic? I don't know. I hate it. I can't enjoy it. I think the Sad Sacks guy sucks. I think everything Mordecai does to CJ sucks. And just having this episode exist genuinely just makes the show overall worse. And number 2 is the episode Merry Christmas Mordecai, for very obvious reasons. I mean, I just hate the first 8 minutes of this episode before anything actually happens, where it's just Mordecai being, Margaret, I can't believe Margaret's coming into town. I'm 26 years old and I can't face my past. I can't face my past. Yeah, it's just very bad. And then they go to the party and it's just supposed to be normal, you know, like just you're at a party with your girlfriend and then CJ goes to the bathroom and then Mordecai cheats on her in the literal 2 minutes that she's in the bathroom with Margaret.
No!
Oh my gosh.
I didn't mean to do that.
I mean, Mordecai?
Yep. Great stuff, I guess, watching one of my main characters cheat on his girlfriend. Yay. Great episode. Phenomenal. There's genuinely nothing good in this episode. There's nothing good about it. I don't enjoy it. It's one of the most grounded episodes of a regular show, and what I'm realizing is all of these relationship episodes are usually the episodes where nothing interesting, like plot-wise, actually happens. There's no monsters, there's nothing to fight, there's no chase scenes, there's nothing good. It's just actual drama, and in a show like regular show, maybe that just makes me hate it more. But yeah, main issue here, cheating on your girlfriend, man. Don't enjoy it. At number 1, pretty obvious, everybody knows it. When you clicked on this video, you knew exactly what the number 1 spot was going to be. It is Dumped at the Altar. I hate this episode. There's nothing funny about it. There's nothing great about it. There's no incredible moment except maybe Rigby revealing that he's dating Eileen in an episode where we could have done a 22-minute special all about Muscleman's wedding, where Starla and Muscleman have to come together and fight a wedding demon, or everybody has to save Starla for something, or something like that. Starla starts freaking out, and Muscleman and Starla have to battle in order to be wed. said, I don't know, I'm just spitballing random ideas, but I would have loved Muscle Man's wedding special. But that's not what we got. We got 11 minutes of the end of Mordecai's romance arc, where the entire time he's just upsetty spaghetti for the entire episode because, oh my god, I have two women that are definitely into me. It's just so hard making a decision when you have two girls that are just super into you. And so with that, all that information, he has to eventually read a letter from Muscle Dad from what's wrong with me? He has to read a letter from Muscle Dad to Muscle Man because Muscle Man just can't read it himself. And so he's reading it, and that's when he has just the biggest realization that he needs to hijack his friend's wedding, even when they're about to say, let's get married. He's like, wait a minute, who's the right person for me? Is it that old lady? Is it that fat man? Is it Benson?
Look at Muscle Man and Starla. It's like they were designed for each other. So where's my soulmate? Are they in this room? It could be anyone. Maybe it's you. Maybe it's that really old lady. I don't know.
Why are you talking?
Who is it? I just don't know. I don't know who's the right person for me. And it just, the entire speech like felt like he was going to say, hey, CJ, I'm breaking up with you. I don't like you.
Okay, just stop. I already know what you're going to say, so save it. You don't know who your soulmate is? Here. You didn't even point in my direction.
And then CJ breaks up with him, and then that's the end of the entire Mordecai CJ arc. And then Mordecai doesn't even get back with Margaret after this. So what was the point of it all? What was he even doing? I don't know. It's like one of the hardest things to watch in the show. It genuinely makes me cringe every time. And there's certain people that can comment and be all like, I love that scene. I think it's hilarious. It makes me burst out laughing every time I see it. I wish I could be one of those people, but it makes me go, it makes me recoil, it makes me hate the episode, it makes me despise Mordecai a little bit. So yeah, don't like the episode. Worst the series ever produced.